Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is once again spreading disinformation, dangerous disinformation about vaccines and, of course, about COVID-19. She recently went on convicted criminal Steve Bannon's show and said, well, this, take a look.
We all know he's lied. And here we've seen most of these senators, we've seen the Democrats, Joe Biden administration, we see them holding this man up and heralding him like he's some sort of hero, but yet he's the one that has been running his own personal human experiment with COVID-19 because gain of function is his baby, and then he paid for it with our tax dollars. This man needs to be investigated. How dare he use our tax dollars to create some sort of disgusting evil science that has killed so many people all over the world and fund it with our tax dollars? This man is an enemy to our nation. He's an enemy to the world because he played a major role in creating a bioweapon, which is COVID-19.
Wow. Okay. So now, obviously, she's going after Dr. Fauci. And look, earlier she said something about how the left is like holding him up as some sort of infallible, hero symbol, whatever. No, I think I think the guy was just doing his job, and is doing his job, and has been wrong a couple of times, but mostly has been on the right track. Pro-mask, pro-vaccine, obviously, calling out disinformation. Again, nobody's perfect. I actually kind of get annoyed about the hero worship that you get from certain people, especially on the liberal side. Like we're better than that, right? Aren't we better than that? I mean, you see it with Mueller, or you saw it with Mueller during the Mueller report. You had the weird, shirtless cartoon of Robert Mueller coming in to dispense justice to the evil Cheeto man. And then, of course, it didn't happen because Robert Mueller's a Republican. And so, again, the whole hero worship and veneration just really, really bothers me. And so, that said, nothing of what she said about Dr. Fauci was true at all. Disgusting, evil science experiment. What are you talking about? You're insane. You're crazy. Again, what she's trying to do is an interesting conflation here. So there's some very legitimate theories about whether this escaped a lab, right? Or it's a lab leak, right? And so accidents do happen. If it ended up being a lab leak, that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as genetic bioweapon. Okay, and that's what this is. She's combining the two things and flipping back and forth between it escaped from a lab, and we don't know if that's the case, and it was created and released into the population as some sort of weird Chinese communist plot. It's really, really insane. COVID-19 is a naturally occurring coronavirus. There was no engineering, no gain of function, in order to make it infect humans. What would be the ultimate point? To release a virus that kills millions of people across the world, except, people who are vaccinated, in which now this is a disease of the unvaccinated. 99.7% of Americans that, are dying from this are unvaccinated. And so what the ultimate goal? What? Well, she's going to answer that. Global communism. Of course. Take a look.
There is a huge problem we have right now here in Washington, D.C., and that is the fact that a bunch of these people are communist. They're communist. They all of their policies.
What do you mean by they're communist?
They're communist because the policies coming out of the Democrats, the open borders, wrecking our economy.
Is this really a communist Democratic Party?
I believe it is. I used to call them socialist. I've completely changed. Now that I have taken hard looks into their policy, I've studied China, studied the Communist Party of China, went to California, seen the communist government in California. What we are dealing with is communism. So I'll tell you something, Steve. You know what bothered me? When we saw the Dow started to tank the other day because COVID cases are rising, that's when we saw a big narrative change. You saw Fox News going crazy of, we got to get everybody vaccinated. Sean Hannity, we got to get everybody vaccinated. And you start hearing all these Republicans coming out with their messaging. We got to get everybody vaccinating. You know what that has to do with, everyone? Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. It's not about COVID cases, because here's the reality. The California shutdowns, the mask mandates didn't work. That didn't stop COVID cases from spreading and people getting COVID. No, that didn't work at all. Vaccines, guess what? People that have gotten vaccinated are getting COVID again. They're testing positive. So here's what will work. We have to fight this government out of controlling our lives. They want full control, because if they can shut you down, if they can force you to vaccinate your kids, if they can force you to vaccinate at work, at school, at church, and wear masks again, they are controlling you, and that's how America becomes a communist country.
So wait, it's communism, but also Wall Street. It's Wall Street communism? What? Holy contradiction, Batman. What the fuck are you talking about? This woman is grade A stupid. Total, like, and look, later on I'm going to talk about, like, how a lot of Republicans are actors, okay? They don't believe this stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene totally believes it. You know, she's got psycho eyes. You can tell. You look into her face. Like, you know that she's 100% a true believer in this. Insane. Insane. And, okay, so let's break it down. I'm seeing this talking point all over, right? Oh, people who are vaccinated are getting coronavirus. Therefore, vaccine bad. That's not a gotcha. That's not the own that you think it is. We've known all along that there are always breakthrough cases that do happen. Breakthrough cases happen when it comes to the flu shot. Do people not get the flu shot as a result? No, people get the flu shot, and sometimes you get the flu shot, you get the flu. That doesn't mean the shot's not effective. It just means that there are breakthrough cases. Anybody who knows anything about vaccines or anything about medicine at all knows that breakthrough infections absolutely can happen, especially now with coronavirus, where we have variants that are way, way more infectious than the original COVID-19 strain. So now, if you ask your doctor, and I strongly recommend, if you have any sort of vaccine hesitancy or any sort of questions, please call your doctor. Call your freaking doctor, right? And talk to them. Most likely, like, your doctor is going to be more than happy to tell you what's what with the vaccine. If you trust your family doctor, the family doctor that you really want to keep with your health insurance, right? At least that's the argument. Like, oh, we can't go to Medicare for all because I want to keep my doctor and my insurance. Which in Medicare for all, you would keep your doctor, and then you could ditch your shitty insurance company. But anyway, that's a different conversation. You ask your doctor, they're going to tell you the truth about the coronavirus vaccine. They're going to tell you that it is safe and that it is effective. It is not 100% effective at preventing you from getting the virus, and nobody at all is saying that it's 100% effective at prevention. Not one actual doctor makes those claims, but they do offer protection against getting it. And if you do happen to get it, a breakthrough case, it also helps prevent severe illness and or death. And that's what's important here. And not only that, but it's also been shown to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19 or the virus that causes COVID-19, which is why people who get vaccinated and still get COVID-19 are not the ones that are sitting in the hospital dying right now. They either get no symptoms or very mild symptoms, and that is the vaccine at work. And I was reading articles earlier today in preparation for the story, right? So there's this article where there was, doctors in Alabama, right, that are talking about people who are, in these COVID wards that have been brought back because you've got such a spike in cases in these areas. And you got these people that are about to get intubated, which means getting a tube shoved down your fucking throat. I couldn't imagine a worse thing than to get that, okay, than to be intubated, okay? And so these people, they're about to get intubated, and they're begging this doctor, okay, give me the vaccine, give me the vaccine, give me the vaccine. And the doctor, she's like, look, I'm sorry. That's not how it works. It's too late. You can't just, the vaccine is not a cure. The vaccine is not a treatment. It is a prevention measure. That's what it is. And so, I mean, again, not a miracle cure, not a treatment. What it does is that it builds up your immune system to be stronger towards that particular virus. And the COVID-19 vaccine literally teaches our immune systems how to recognize and fight that virus. It's not gene therapy. It's not gene editing. Doesn't change your DNA. Doesn't magnetize your skin. Look, if you look at it, and you can look up the ingredients to whichever vaccine you get. I looked up the Pfizer ingredients before I got mine, right? Two of the bigger ingredients were polyethylene glycol and salt. Pretty much a salty laxative. And the important part of the vaccine, of course, is the mRNA instructions that teach your body how to fight the virus. That's how vaccines work. And mRNA, it sounds, oh my God, new and scary. We've actually been looking at this and studying this for the last 30 years, 3 decades. So this isn't new. This isn't experimental. This is something that finally got, some real impetus, research behind, right? To tackle COVID-19, but it's not a new idea. It has been studied, and finally it's getting applied, right? And so normally how normal vaccines work, and this is not quite like the normal vaccine, this is why some people do call it experimental, right? Is that normally vaccines will contain a weakened live virus that teaches your body how to fight the virus. This one, the mRNA, just gives you a set of instructions. So now how the live virus works is that it gets into your cells, injects its, instructions into your cells. Your cells are little factories. And what they do is that they create copies of the virus, right? Well, this doesn't do that. It doesn't actually get your body to create virus, which then has your immune system, of course, attack it. This has the instructions for the spike protein. The spike protein is the thing that, of course, I believe the virus uses to attach to your cells. But this one doesn't have live virus in it. And so that spike protein, your body, your immune system is taught to seek out and destroy that spike protein. I believe that's how it works. So, yeah, there are some differences, okay? But again, this has been proven to be effective and safe. So now it kind of feels like, I don't know, people on the right either don't understand or don't bother to try to understand, or they just purposely lie about the vaccines and exploit people's ignorance. And that's it. I'm not sure where Marjorie Taylor Greene lands on this, whether or not she's ignorant or exploiting ignorance. I guess, as I said before, I do think that she is a true believer. Okay? But either way, she's wrong. She's wrong on so much of it. Now, there was something interesting she said, going back to the Wall Street communism, which is interesting, okay? So let me just refresh you on what she said. She said, when we saw the Dow starting to tank the other day because COVID cases are rising, that's when we saw a big narrative change at Fox News. You had Fox News going crazy. We've got to get everyone vaccinated. Sean Hannity comes out and says, we got to get everyone vaccinated. That's actually kind of close. I mean, the level, she accidentally gets some insight there. And so, yes, I've talked about this. The narrative at Fox has absolutely changed. Now, and yes, it is because of the almighty stonks It's not because of communism. No, it's capitalism. And so what is actually going on is, look, you have these cases that are rising. You have people that are worried, right? That this is going to get worse, that this is going to affect business. Business does not want to be affected by this. And so the biggest group of people that are having the problem now with the waves of the vaccine are people who are unvaccinated in red states. And so this is why Fox News is going, oh my God, my handlers, my donors, our donors are the business people, the business community that backs us. Well, they don't want to lose business. They don't want to lose customers. They don't want to have to worry about coronavirus lockdowns or any sort of measures or mandates. And so, yes, we'll push people to get vaccinated, for one, because we know the vaccines actually work. And that's the thing that she leaves out and that she doesn't get. Why would they push a vaccine that doesn't work? It works. That's why they're pushing the vaccine. So that they can go back to making money. They can go back to business. It's capitalism. And the other thing, of course, is you also know how the vaccine works because rich people got it first. It's true. Rich people got it first. That's how you know, because they wouldn't get something that doesn't work. Just saying. But no, she comes so close and then goes on to communism. All right, well, there you go. Oh, look, all you got to do is vaccinate people. It's that easy. Literally that easy. And yes, by the way, there are people that do have negative reactions to the vaccine. A few thousand have had an adverse reaction, and then, of course, they recover. Now, just over 1,000 have actually died. Now, that's a problem, but when you do the cost-benefit analysis here, you have 1,000 that have died out of over 300 million doses. Do the math. That's an incredibly small percentage of people that have had a fatal adverse reaction. Overwhelmingly safe and effective. For God's sake, get your vaccine. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.